where it's snowing all winter through. That's where I want to be.
Snowball throwing, that's what I'll do.
How I'm longing to ski through the snow.
Fans, as you can see, it is a special Blizzard edition of Working Fans Saturday, episode 59. And since the snow is so bad today, we are going to run footage from the man they call Dave and AJ Strangebrew talking about Royal Rumble the last couple episodes on the Working Fans podcast.
Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Now, before we get started, as always, we are brought to you by the Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 1, written by Vinnie Berry, 35 short stories across the wrestling landscape. Every book contains a surprise autograph from one of 11 people featured in the book. We are also brought to you by Super Vows, written by Kevin Kelton. This is an amazing book available on Amazon. And this week, we got the guys talking the Royal Rumble.
This is St. John's favorite baby boy.
What's up, Zach? Yeah, we're talking about little Cody Rhodes and Edge today. But, on that note,
now that Zach's here, we'll see you later. No.
Let's talk about Royal Rumble a little bit this weekend, or next weekend, rather. Jumping the gun here, because it's funny. There's been some names batted around about potential people entering the men's Royal Rumble. And Cody Rhodes is technically, as we found out, a free agent. That being said, I don't see this happening. Okay, so you don't think this is a good chance?
No, God, no.
Do you think we see a wrestler? We know Mickie James is going to be there. Do we see another Impact wrestler or somebody possibly getting the men's Rumble?
So here's the funny thing. We got to be clear about something, too. While Cody Rhodes is a free agent as a wrestler, he is not a free agent when it comes to being an EVP. He is still under contract as an executive vice president for All Elite Wrestling. He is not completely free and clear. Can he go and wrestle there if he wanted to? Absolutely. But you're talking about literally an executive vice president. And WWE came out earlier this week and they were asked in an interview, one of the higher ups for WWE, what they thought of the product in AEW.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And they called it trash and said that we don't aim towards that clientele. We don't aim towards that audience. Basically, they just made it sound like it's all trash and pointed fingers at the fact that women are bleeding and stuff of that nature, which I thought was sexist. Oh, women can't have a match where they can bleed? They don't have a right to beat the shit out of each other and freaking, hey, you want to be sexist, WWE? You be sexist.
Okay, well, staying on task here. We don't think Cody's going to enter the role, but do you think we'll see maybe somebody from Impact, not besides Mickie? Will there be a men here, or will there be somebody else from another organization in the Rumble?
So I'm going to turn this on you. So for Impact, who do you think on the men's side, and we know who on the women's side would make a name, but who on the men's side would the WWF actually be interested in? Because I can only think of size-wise a couple guys who the WWE would actually be interested in, or big enough names to actually put in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And
Moose.
Moose is one of them.
Maybe
and
Morrissey if they wanted to go back.
They could bring back Big Cass to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously they would call him Big Cass if he came in.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely see one of those two just because of their sheer size. But does anybody else have the big enough name other than maybe Zack Ryder?
Yeah. Well, that was the other one I was going to say. They would come back as Zack Ryder for this one spot. And actually, I'm going to throw one AEW name as a possibility to go in. He won't go in probably, but I'm just going to throw it out there. If there's somebody on AEW who is going to be in the Rumble, it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think Chris Jericho has any interest in doing anything with the WWE.
No, but he did go on the Steve Austin show, and that was on Peacock, and WWE did promote it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think now after this little interview.
Yeah, that's and that's the thing. That's he wasn't exactly kind on the interview with on this Broken Skull interview.
He was fine. I mean, I'm saying though, with WWE making comments too about.
Oh yeah,
that might make Tony Khan might not want to lend him out.
Yeah, and that might be a thing. I mean,
let me ask you this though: if you're AEW, if you're Impact, if you're any of these promotions, I guess maybe I'm mainly asking about AEW because Impact, absolutely. Why, if WWE came to you and said, "Hey, we're willing to promote with you," why not take it?
For AEW?
Yeah, even AEW, why not?
Because if you go and do that, it makes it look like you're lesser talent, and it makes it look like you feel like you need the WWE to promote your wrestlers.
Okay,
AEW, right? AEW, I think right now needs to actually stay away from that. They need to actually be their own entity and show, hey, we're on their level. Not only are we on their level, they put a show up against us and we whoop the shit out of them. That's the why.
NXT.
Oh yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, we know it's NXT.
Yeah.
But right now, at the end of the day, that not only did they beat NXT bad, they beat NXT so bad that everybody who ran that show is gone.
That's a narrative, though, too, to a certain point, too, though. I mean, at the end of the day, like Vince pulled the plug on that operation, and it's a shame. And but
not only did he pull the plug on it, he literally got rid of everybody who was responsible. Right. The only person left there is what? Shawn Michaels?
Yeah. And Hunter, technically, but we don't know where Hunter is these days.
Yeah, but he's out with freaking whatever heart ailment. We wish him well. We wish you well, Hunter. Hope you're doing good. King of all kings.
Do you who do you pick for the men's rumble right now? Gun to your head. This is tough, right? They haven't set anybody up.
They haven't. Maybe
I'll make it easy.
I need to know, is Lashley still going to be in the Rumble?
I'm going to say, this is what I'll say. I'll give you two names. Big E wins the Rumble. And I'm going to say the other one would be Brock Lesnar. I say Brock Lesnar maybe wins his match, enters the Rumble, wins the Rumble, and then challenges Roman for the belt for a unification match at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it definitely could happen. And that's the problem with picking a winner for the Rumble is not knowing who's actually eligible to be in it. It used to be easy because if you were a champion, you weren't eligible to be in it. Right. So therefore, that made it easy because
all the rules are off.
About this. Yeah, now that there's no actual rules to who can be in it, why not pick Roman Reigns? Maybe Roman Reigns does it and he wants to come over and win the Raw title.
Pick a winner to
now he's the head. Day. Now he's the head of the title. Now he's the head of the head of the table everywhere.
Who do you think's gonna win? Gun to your head. I know we don't know, but just take a wild guess.
All right, so I'm gonna pick one favorite, and then I'm gonna pick a dark horse.
Okay.
Because I think that they're trying to shove somebody down our throat right now, and
Sami Zayn.
I'm not a big fan of his. So my favorite to win it is actually Big E. I think Big E's might win it. The other one who might do it is, believe it or not, Seth Rollins still might actually, even though he's got the match at Royal Rumble, I think he might also win the Royal Rumble. But my dark horse is fucking Damian Priest.
Oh.
For some reason, they are shoving Damian Priest down our throat each and every freaking week. The guy can barely work in the ring. His mic skills are atrocious. I cannot stand Damian Priest, allegedly.
Hey, Randy, we kind of covered this a little bit, but I was gonna say,
did he leave the room? Did he ask us a question and then leave the freaking room?
I think he did eventually, but
That's
my guess
son of a
is
bitch.
I think that all right, I'm gonna say we don't see someone from the men's side on Impact.
I don't either.
Yeah, okay. I think it's just gonna be Mickey. I think they want Mickey. There was a story there.
I think they want to create the new narrative of Mickey coming in, then making amends, and freaking her leaving without the garbage bags. They're whitewashing the history.
I think so. Let's get to the women's rumble.
What about seeing now? You could see somebody from the NWA. If Mickey's coming, maybe you see Nick Aldis in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Will we see somebody from another promotion in the men's rumble? How about that?
Does NXT count?
No, we'll see people from NXT.
If it was going to be anybody from another promotion, I really think the odds-on favorite would be Nick Aldis at this point.
Okay. My guess is I'll say we won't. I don't
think we will either. I'm saying if I had to pick,
they just don't like to do it. I'm so shocked that we're still doing. We're getting Mickey. I can't believe it. But
only because the only reason that they're willing to do it with Mickey is because they feel that they created Mickey.
They created Mickey, and I think there's a story here which is why Mickey is a dark horse of mine, despite working for a company, because this story.
Mickey could win it.
Yeah, she comes back to revenge this. She goes to Mania. I could even see her putting the belt on, and then they drop her out for Money in the Bank or something. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a story here to be told, and I kind of wonder the backstory about this, because if you remember when this went down with her getting fired in the trash bag and other than that, Stephanie McMahon seemed legitimately upset about this situation, and she, I think, had personally tweeted Mickey and kind of went to her. Mickey didn't seem too receptive at the time, but obviously
how receptive would you be if your stuff was left in a fucking garbage bag in the back door?
I'm not telling you she was wrong. I get it. But and Mickey has since said that they've apologized and we've made amends. And that makes
especially since Mickey on her last run basically came in and made everybody that she worked with.
Yeah. But I will say my favorite to win it right now, because again, I mean, and despite the fact they did that little thing with Lita and Charlotte, which no, not a fan. I don't know. I like Lita, but I don't see Lita in a world title situation. I say Belair is the favorite to win it right now.
I love Lita. I think Lita is one of the best women. I think she helped build the women's originally, but she's long past her prime. When's the last time she's actually worked regularly? And to come in and work at the level that Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, that those guys work at, is not something you can just be off for 10 years and do.
Agreed. Who's your favorite to win it? I got Belair as the favorite.
I think Belair wins it, and then I think it's Belair versus Becky at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think Mickie James is our dark horse, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why not? That's I can actually, it's a dark horse that could happen.
Yeah.
Do you have a dark horse for the men's?
I'm not like happy, I'm not crazy about it, that's why I'm a fan, but Lita also is a dark horse too, by the way. Just because they did that thing with Charlotte. There was no reason
and they changed plans and flew her in to do that thing with Charlotte.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
But do you Alexa Bliss could be a dark horse too, especially with everything that's going on right now, for her to get another shot at freaking Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Now, go ahead.
But that being said, do you have a dark horse for the men's?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I think he just shows up.
Baddest man in the Federation. He's my dark horse.
Okay. You want a real dark horse? Do you want someone who would be a big?
Dude, I picked Damian Priest as a dark horse. If that's not a dark horse,
I'll match you. Braun Breaker.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
comes up out of nowhere.
He did a good job of talking to the crowd this week at NXT too, because a lot of them were saying, we're chanting at him about his family and stuff like that, and he did a good job of responding and keeping it classy. So
Another
good
guy
for Braun Baker.
I'd like to see in the men's rumble, now that we're backtracking a little bit, would be Gunther, aka Walter. I hate that.
I would
name.
I would love
forever.
to see Gunther Storm in that'd be fantastic. That's who's in your research department that doesn't realize that this is an actual Nazi villain from World War II?
I don't even want to talk about this. Let's go.
Were they watching Texas wrestling? Were they watching old Fritz von Erich stuff? We're like, you know what would really pay off today? Let's use the Nazis.
Yeah. Let's get to the big world title matches. Seth versus Roman. I'm glad they brought Seth in. You ain't going over Roman. This is Roman all day.
I love Seth right now. I think Seth's character is fantastic. I don't know how entertaining you find it.
It's a little weird. We're gonna do a heel versus heel, and the other match is kind of a tweener versus tweener, by the way.
Well, the funny thing is Seth is still so far full blown heel on Raw, but he's been playing the babyface on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it's not every time in the same federation that you can play face and heel.
But we got Roman, right? This has got to be Roman.
I think Roman's going over.
Yeah. I heard something.
Roman's got to have the belt until WrestleMania. He's got to.
I agree. I got Lesnar over Lashley, but this one wouldn't surprise me as much as Seth. I think Lashley has a shot.
If Lashley goes over,
Brock enters
your pick. Brock Lesnar is winning the Royal Rumble, and we're getting Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I agree. But I'm going to say Brock retains.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
How about Becky Lynch and Doudrop in?
All right, final match. Yeah, Becky Lynch, Doudrop in. Becky. It's not. I like Doudrop, formerly Piper Niven, is fantastic. And if they let her make a good showing, this will be a great match. But at the end of the day, Becky's the bigger star and has been booked as such.
Absolutely, and she should continue to be. It's interesting to me because it's the first time that I can really think of that with that much of a size difference, that the heel is going to be the little one.
Yes.
So it's kind of intriguing there. But it's definitely a hell of a match.
I will say I'll close with this though. In terms of who I want to win, if I have my way,
oh, you want Doudrop?
No. I'm talking about this whole card. Yeah. Who I want to win more than anybody, I would want Mickie James to get that win if I could pull this off somehow.
More than anybody, that's tough. I would like to see Mickie James win, but to be honest with you, the person who I would like to see win more than anybody is somebody like a Sami Zayn or a Kevin Owens.
I'm going to take over here for a minute, guys. Since I wasn't on either of these recordings, I just want to run down the card real quick and give you my predictions. I've got Brock versus Lashley first. Brock loses, and this pushes him to go into the show later in the night. Now, next up, I see them having the Women's Royal Rumble. There's going to be plenty of surprises here. If I got to pick a winner, I'm going Rhea Ripley. I'm feeling that pick. I don't know why. I'm not as invested with this match, but I just have a good feeling about Rhea. Following that, I see Edge and Beth Phoenix versus The Miz and Maurice. God, you got to have Edge and Beth Phoenix win this. This is going to be a nice kind of spectacle match in the middle. Following this, we will have Becky versus Doudrop. And Randy asks, does Becky make her submit? I got to say yes. Now, following this match, I've got Seth versus Roman. I don't think there's any question whether or not Roman wins this. This is going to be an incredible match. And the last match of the night, I see it being the Men's Royal Rumble. And Brock's got to enter this and win. and then go on to that match with Roman that they had set up before COVID took this off the rails. Now, guys, I'm going to get to our second video, which is actually going to be on next week's episode of the Working Fans Podcast.
We are live.
Vince, you got to do better. I don't care. The show has sucked lately. You're not even putting out a good Rumble. I can't talk right now, Vince.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had the man's ear.
Sorry, when you're here at Strangebrew headquarters, it's not easy.
So I thought we'd talk a little Rumble this week because I didn't have time to pick a show topic and get with you this week because it's snowing.
It looks like not only are we going to get Mickie James, but it looks like, spoiler alert, we might get Celeste Bonin. That's yes, you remember her, don't you, Celeste Bonin?
No,
you don't remember her.
What
was her ring name? Trying to remember her ring name. Caitlyn. Yes.
Oh, Caitlin's coming back, huh?
Yes, looks like she's in town for it. And also, speaking of taking talent from other federations, NWA going to be well represented. It looks like Melina is also there.
Melina's in the Rumble?
Yes.
Where did you hear this?
On PW Insider.
Okay. Actually, I heard a rumor. I can't remember where, though, that Kurt Angle is actually in St. Louis.
He is in St. Louis. That was also on PW Insider. Yeah. Him, JBL, Jerry the King Lawler, and Ivory are all in St. Louis.
Very interesting. I want to talk a little AEW this week too, but let's talk the Rumble first since we started. Okay, I'm gonna throw out some names. You tell me yes or no. You think they'll make the Rumble? We'll just guess. All right, Jeff Jarrett. He's in St. Louis doing the live show. He was on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking he'll be in there for a cameo.
Ridge Holland is actually back on SmackDown tonight. He's back from his injury.
I could see him in, but he's not a surprise. So let's.
I guess
we'll continue this. Braun Breaker.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
Walter / Gunther, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, good old WG might be in there. I think he might.
All right, I'll give you a couple more. Kurt Angle.
I don't think the WWF will let Kurt in the match.
Okay. All right.
I think he might be at a round table beforehand, but I don't think he'll be in the match. I don't think that WWE will clear him.
Round table. That's a good point. Yeah, they could always bring him for that too. That's probably what JBL's there for too, actually.
Yes.
They should do that. Yeah.
Now, however, Ivory, the last time I saw her, looked in tremendous shape. She could be in the women's Royal Rumble.
All right. So I'm going to give you two more men's spoilers. This one will go a little, not spoilers, this is yes or no, but these guys are a little more out there. Moose.
No.
Okay. Cody Rhodes.
No.
You already said last week you didn't see him being in this at all.
No. I don't even remotely. Although, after having him put over Sammy Guevara the way that he did on Dynamite, maybe.
Hey, so we'll get to Dynamite later, but just so I don't forget, were you like me, and are we the only people who was really rooting for Cody Rhodes in that matchup? Like, I wanted Cody to win. I like Sammy, but I think
it's just the two of us. I think
it is because
Sammy.
I like Sammy, but I want Cody to win. I think he's the more interesting character.
I can tell you who Cleveland was cheering for.
Yeah, not Cody.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're not talking Dynamite yet. When we talk Dynamite, I'm going to ask you a question. I got a hot question for you.
All right. Let's just finish up with we'll pick a winner. I think we talked about this last week. I know Damian Priest was your outside guess. I can't remember who were you thinking was going to win the Rumble. Did you have a pick yet off what you had to work with?
My dark horse was Damian Priest.
I was gonna say it's a surprise. We'll just get a surprise winner.
Yeah, my dark horse or my surprise winner would be Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite going into it, and I'm not counting people who I don't know are in it.
Right.
Believe it or not, I think Sheamus might have a shot.
Interesting. That's kind of out of the box. I think I said last week Big E, and I'm sticking with that one for now.
Yeah, Big E's one of the favorites though to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's one that could do it. A lot of it depends on what happens in those championship matches too.
Right, and who ends up showing up too. We don't know who's going to be there.
Exactly. If Lashley goes over, then I could definitely see Brock Lesnar back in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the women's, I'm going to throw a few names out there too, like we did with the men's. Trish Stratus, yes or no? Good shape.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about her being in the area.
Ronda Rousey.
I think she's more interested in parenting.
Okay. There's rumors they're flying now that she's might be in this, so that's why.
I heard the same thing. I just don't buy it.
If she is in the Rumble, she winning it?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, why bring her back unannounced otherwise, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, and she's there for the mainstream. Get them that mainstream.
No, if she's in the Royal Rumble, it's over. She's got it.
Yeah. What we say last week? I think I went Belair. I know I'm a big Belair for this one.
I think Bianca Belair's got to be one of your odds-on favorites. Alexa Bliss to me is also one who they might go with. They've been doing that road for Bliss coming back.
Yeah.
So she might be one of your favorites also. Other than that, my dark horse would probably be Mickie James.
Same. She cut a promo on Impact last night, basically talking about the Knockouts division and everything they're doing. And she actually said that she thinks that, yes, it does seem about right. Thank you, sir. She thinks that she's going to make history. She's not coming just to show up. She's coming to win. She actually said on Impact she's going to WrestleMania, and then she's going to be title versus title. Now, WWE hasn't talked about this at all, other than the initial. They did mention Mickie, and Pat McAfee did call her the Impact Knockouts champion.
I don't think there's a chance in hell of there being a title versus title.
Yeah, that sounds kind of crazy, right?
That being said, she really hasn't had great competition for her actual title in the
Mickie?
NWA. I mean, in Impact.
I mean, Deonna Purrazzo.
No, she's got great competition. I mean, coming up, she doesn't have great competition.
She's got Tasha Steelz.
Yeah, I don't think Tasha Steelz is winning the belt. Do you?
No, I don't think so either.
Tasha Steelz is a good worker, but she's not.
I think it's a showcase for her. Yeah. All right. So I'm excited. I think this is traditionally WWE's best event of the year consistently.
Here's where I'm upset.
Okay.
I look forward to the Royal Rumble sometimes more than I look forward to WrestleMania.
Same.
And this year, and normally it's the Rumble itself that has my interest.
Yeah.
This year, I'm actually looking forward to Lesnar and Lashley. And other than that, not a whole hell of a lot.
What about Roman and Seth? I thought you were on board with that.
I like Roman and Seth.
You know, Roman's
the problem is to me, this isn't a Royal Rumble match. This is something that you do for WrestleMania.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wow. Okay. So you think they're going too soon with this?
I do. I think they're pulling the trigger on it too soon. And I think the reason why is because, like Roman has said, there's literally nobody left on SmackDown.
Yeah.
To a point where they had to bring in somebody from Raw.
Yeah. And it is interesting because, like, you know, if Big E wins, He could end up challenging Roman too. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm excited just for more of the surprises. I think the Mickey James factor is the one that really caught me off guard. And I wonder if we'll get more surprises like that.
The problem is, how many open spaces are there even on the men's side?
I think there's a few. Last I knew, there was like 10, I thought still.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is they haven't been overly clear on their announcements whatsoever as who's in, who's not.
Which is why Jeff Jarrett said on his podcast he thinks it's going to be a surprise. Like, he thinks someone not announced because he said this is one of the more vague in terms of names they've mentioned for the Rumble in recent years.
So they've made a big thing about John Cena being booked out the week of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's not actually really booked out for the night of WrestleMania? What if Cena returns tonight?
Or Saturday, yes.
Or Saturday, sorry. I forgot that tonight's Friday.
Yes. It could be. Cena's another guy that could be in a Rumble.
I mean, Cena versus Reigns would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it, but I think Cena
but have we seen it with Roman as head of the table?
Now, that's some very interesting points they brought up. We are all excited for the Royal Rumble. And check us out over on the Working Fans Podcast YouTube. We will be doing a review after the Rumble. Now, given that last week we covered the world on GCW, I just wanted to give my own thoughts on it because I was able to watch it. I've had a week to digest what I saw, and certain things about this show were amazing. I'm glad they got to the Hammerstein. I'm glad they sold it out. They put on a huge event. A lot of people got to see the GCW product, and I was happy for that. I thought the pre-show was 100% GCW. The scramble match was great, and the Battle Royal was fun. The way they ended the pre-show with a Brett Lauderdale speech, you had Chris Dickinson as well, and then you had the entrances of the guys in the first match, which was cool because it kind of enticed you to watch the actual card. Now, getting to the main card, I liked a lot of things on this. The Lucha match was great. My first big disappointment was Jonathan Gresham not being there. I didn't know till day of show. Leo Rush and Blake Christian ended up having an amazing match, but it was just a little disappointing seeing no Jonathan Gresham. Now, the biggest disappointment, I liked the Cardona and Janela match. It was about what I thought. I did not see Cardona coming out to enter Sandman. That was great. I really liked the match, but it ran long, and given other things that happened in the show, that almost felt like a detriment. Another detriment that I thought it was a huge negative for me was not only did Cardona win, but Jeff Jarrett won and Ruby Soho won. Now, you could say arguably Cardona and Jarrett were going over anyways. I saw the GCW people going over in each instance. So that was kind of a little bit of a negative for me. That Grab the Brass Ring ladder match that kicked off this show was amazing, by the way. And I'm just going to end on a down point, and we never do this on the Working Fans Podcast, but I think I had built up the possibility of FTR being the surprise opponent so much that when I heard Matt Tremont come out, I was a little bit disappointed. Now, to end it, for all the things that I said that this didn't feel like a GCW show and things that just I didn't jive with, the fact that Tremont and Gage won the tag team championships in the main event fits a GCW show. The match was way too short and it left more to be desired. If you saw this and it's your first time seeing GCW, I 100% recommend checking out another show. This is a great company, and this show, it had some things going against it, mainly working in New York, I guess, with a curfew, and also the New York State Athletic Commission. GCW couldn't do a lot of the things that they would normally do, deathmatch stuff, and we might have had Nick Wayne on this event. Now, thank you for tuning in today. Hope you stay warm, and we will see you next week.